Hi there, this is Andrew Paul Smith with day 10 of 100 inspirational videos in 100 days. And today I want to talk to you about imagination. Imagination. Can you just imagine that? Right, well, a couple of days back I was talking about becoming a philanthropist and being someone who isn't a philanthropist and isn't anywhere near becoming one. Oh no, I'm near becoming one, but I'm not anywhere near being in a place to be a philanthropist, somebody who gives out lots of money from out of the surplus that they have. For me, that's a bit of a joke right now, but my imagination tells me it's not impossible. My imagination tells me that there is a route that I can take to get there. And yesterday I started some training that would help me with that. But before I tell you about my training, I want to remind you that yesterday I was talking about optimism, pessimism and realism, and suggesting that to be a philanthropist you would need to be someone who is positive in their outlook. So if you're positive in your outlook and you've got an imagination that you make use of, then surely that's going to help. I think so. The trouble with imagination is that as children, we had a great imagination. We had imaginary play friends, and we saw that the world was our oyster, that we could go anywhere, we could do anything, we could be a rocket pilot, or we could be a nurse, or whatever it is that people as children think of. There was nothing that we couldn't do, and we could go to foreign places, we could marry the guy or the girl of our dreams, and we could live happily ever after. And everything was fairy tale and magic carpet ride and going to see Father Christmas in Lapland. All these imaginary journeys that we took. I remember writing a story called Adventure Island, and I took my teacher. My teacher was there, and all my schoolmates were there. I've still got it somewhere. This little story that I wrote. The great imagination of children gets kicked out of us when we get to be adults. You can't do this and you can't do that, and don't think that way, and don't do this, and don't be someone who annoys people, and there's so many rules thrown at us, and our imagination is kicked into the long grass. But today I'm going to suggest to you that what you need to do, if you want to be a philanthropist, if you want to be positive in your outlook, you need to use your imagination. It's like your heart. It's a muscle. It needs to be used. Okay, before I go any further, I want to quote Albert Einstein, one of the cleverest men who ever lived. He says, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions." I don't know if you know any of the Einstein stories. He's sat in the classroom and he's bored silly with the maths lesson that's going off, and he understands it all. He's way ahead of the rest of his schoolmates. He's looking out the window because he's bored. And as he's looking out of the window, he's watching them playing rugby on the field. Then he's looking beyond that into the forest, and it's a lovely day. And the teacher shouts to him, "Einstein, eyes forward." "Oh, I'm in bother." "Don't use your imagination," says the teacher. "Concentrate on what I'm saying." Well, that's a mistake. But never mind, because Einstein is a good lad. He's probably 13, 14 years of age, and he's looking forward. And I think we should all look forward to better things. But he's looking forward to the front of the classroom, and there, above the chalkboard, is a clock. And he's looking at the clock. And he's asking himself questions that most people don't ask. How do you tell the time? Well, it's easy. The hands on the clock go around, don't they? Or it go around like that for you, because you're seeing this the opposite way to me. So yeah, he's looking at the clock and he's telling the time. And he said, no. A different question. How do you tell the time? It's not the hands on the clock. It's because of the light that's coming from the clock that I can now, or that's shining on the clock, that I can see what time it is. Okay, how quickly do I see what time it is on the clock? And the answer is at the speed of light. So if I could see the clock, this is a new question, if I could see the clock faster than the speed of light, what would be happening to the hands on the clock face? And the answer is they'd be moving, oh, that way, backwards. Yeah, they'd be moving backwards. So therefore, if you could travel faster than the speed of light, does that mean you'd go back in time? This is a 14-year-old genius using his imagination. And then another occasion, he's sat in the forest, he's looking up at the tree canopy and the sunlight coming through, and he's just so playful, is Einstein. He wants to go for a ride on a sunbeam. So he jumps on board in his imagination, jumps on board a sunbeam. And he's telling his friend later, you'll never guess where I ended up. And they said, where? He said, back here. And what he was saying was that light travels in a circle, and that the universe is like a balloon that's inflated, and if you go around it, you come back to where you started from. Just like the Earth is round. People said no, it's flat, and the membership of the Flat Earth Society is falling off. But the imagination of Einstein came to grips at a very early age with some of the most intricate parts of science, just because of his imagination. And he says, imagination, Albert Einstein says, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Carl Sagan, the guy who did the original Cosmos, I've been watching the remake of Cosmos recently. Carl Sagan says, imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it, we go nowhere. These are intelligent guys who were talking about talking about imagination, and Carl Sagan says we go nowhere without it. And if you don't like where you're at right now, maybe it's as good as being nowhere. If you want to get somewhere, you've got to start flexing that muscle of your imagination. And I've got another quote for you. It's Paul McCartney. He used to be in a band called the Beatles. I think you may have heard of them. Imagination grows by exercise, and contrary to common belief, is more powerful in the mature than in the young. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I'm doing it myself now, making silly jokes that I didn't even intend to. But yeah, if you can imagine as an adult better than you can as a child, the sky's the limit. No, the sky. How can the sky be the limit when there's footprints on the moon? If you want to get somewhere really spectacular in your life, first of all, you need to find a community of people who use their imagination. And like I said to you yesterday and the day before, if you would like to have financially a better setting for your life than the one that you've got right now, then I would like you to join me on this ride to the world of imagination. I've been doing this thing called dreamscaping yesterday, and it's asking questions and I'm giving my answers there. And what it's doing is it's making me, as I'm doing the exercise, it's making me exercise the muscle of my imagination and starting to think about the world as I would like it to be. And the only way it's ever going to be the way that I want it to be is when I start, first of all, finding out what that world looks like and having it written down on paper, as I am doing now. I've got it, I'm starting to get it written down on paper. Then to find ways to bring that about. And that's part of the training that I'm going through. And over these next 90 videos, I'm going to be sharing more of that training with you. And it won't just help you financially, it'll help you, I'm sure it'll help you to imagine other things other than financial wealth. It'll help you to imagine a better life. But better than imagining a better life, why not have my input, one-on-one input, become a member of my team, and I will help you to get I'll just be a few steps ahead of you. That's all it needs, as long as I don't stop. You might walk into me if I stop. As long as I keep walking a few steps ahead of you, then I'll be able to take you on that journey with all the passion and enthusiasm that my personality is good at doing, as you've probably seen already over the past few videos, if you've watched them. If not, go back and watch them. They're all there on my YouTube channel, right from day 1 to day 10 now. So this is Andrew Paul Smith, wishing you a great day, and love and light to you, namaste. God bless you, and I will speak to you again tomorrow for another episode in the series of 100 inspirational videos in 100 days. Bye for now. Bye.